Steelers from last year.
Oh, okay. I think I can beat him. Last time I played the Steelers, I held it pretty close.
Okay.
So, um, I can totally win my division. It's possible. I just need to not throw interceptions with Aaron Rodgers, which has been my problem. I'll get
Well,
interceptions
that's why I
in the
feel
red zone. I'll
strongly
just
about
throw
your
one.
chances right now. I mean, you have a big
Yeah.
win already this early. So we already kind of talked about the Bears, but how do you feel about the Bears as contenders and pretenders? It's kind of the same situation in the same division, but you're coming off of a huge loss instead of on the flip side of the coin. Where do you see Miguel in these early shuffling of the cards? I mean, it's real early. We still got 3/4 of a season to
Mm-hmm.
go. He's a quality user. Do you think he
He
shakes
is.
off this, funk
I
and
think that's a good question. Who has he played so far?
I think Miguel's consistency is what scares me. I just don't know. It's up in the air. He starts off week one playing critical mass, which is a great
0 and
user,
43.
but he has his top three defensive players were suspended and lost 0 to 43. But then he bounces back, wins his week two against Gatto,
Yep.
comes back week three and
Excuse me.
beats Steelers 34 to 20. And Steelers is a past Super Bowl champion. He's a great user, one of the top end users in our league, and he beats him. So just the inconsistency of you
Yeah.
lose week one and then you lose week four against Jamie, but then you win against an elite user like that.
And I was
I
gonna make
don't
a
know
comment about
exactly
that.
where his team's at.
Well, that week two showed
The
me a little
consistency
bit.
is
I tried to press a few times in that week two in some aggressive fashions, and it backfired on me, and I cost my team field position. I saw him play pretty good defense and make correct situational calls for the most part. I didn't really experience any rollout interceptions like Jamie did, unfortunately. So, so no, I could see the consistency there, but like you said, it's kind of weird some of these games where all of a sudden he kind of just breaks tendencies.
It's from what it looks like, the reoccurring theme, and there's a little bit more to it because me and him are both in another league. What a little bit has to do with is all pro quarterbacks throw significantly different. Like it's a lot easier to throw when your quarterback's all pro. You can make a lot easier passes. So I feel like he's coming in here almost with the all pro mindset, and he's just slinging the
He's
ball up there like it'll work.
overdoing it.
Yeah. Another thing is turnovers is a big thing. The Falcons, he had what looks like 5 turnovers. Against me, he had 8. But against the Steelers had 4 and he had 2. So I think his mindset going into games is he could be a little more free with the ball because he'll make it up or something. As long as whoever he's playing against is, a little careful with the ball and doesn't underestimate him, they should be able to win. He should rely on his running game a little bit more. I know he's been trying to learn that a little better. He's not been very good at running, but he's picking it up. His user needs a little bit of work. It's stiff. But other than that, you can't sleep on him because he'll make stuff happen. But then you can't, rely on him either. That's
Pretender.
I mean, that's he's
he's a
pretender.
pretender.
Yeah, I'm
Bring
gonna
your
go
sleeping
now,
bag
pretender
and
he's a
we
right
play the
now.
Bears. Bring your sleeping bag and
I
go
think
to
when
sleep.
you look at the NFC
Bears are
North, it's
pretender.
Packers Vikings race right now for sure. So okay,
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
don't say that. Please don't say that.
Seahawks. So I know he was
Ugh,
kind of hard to get a
pretender.
hold of for the Colts. I wasn't real sure. I haven't really got to see anything about him. What do you guys think? Pretender? Is this
Pretender.
what-
Yeah,
I
he's
shouldn't
not
have
quite there.
lost.
I just played him, and he's not quite there. User skill. He has a great
Okay.
team. That defense is stacked. I know the offensive line it needs some help, but just off what I've seen in our game, he's a pretender.
Yeah, I should not have lost to him. It was a really dumb loss for me. I'm pretty sure like I threw a ton of picks that game. Like we basically traded interceptions, and he just came out on top of it. Um, yeah, so I totally should have won. Yeah,
pretty
don't.
much unanimous. Seahawks
If I could
aren't
take that
gonna
game-
really be there.
Yeah. If I could take that game.
Okay, so how do you guys feel about the 49ers? This is another one of Trey's homeboys.
I don't know. He beat the Seahawks pretty soundly, but he lost to the Rams and he lost to the Panthers. I personally have not played either the Panthers or the Rams.
Well, the Rams, the old Cowboys. I think he's a little bit of an above-average user. I haven't
Like,
played him recently though.
The Cowboys
Yeah, he's-
that were like
Yeah,
really
the Super
really
Bowl
good.
Cowboys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's a top
Super
end
Bowl
user.
II.
I remember him. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice to see.
But
him
I
back.
haven't seen a lot of this 49ers guy.
Mm-mm.
But looking
Like-
at his schedule, I'm just gonna have to go pretender. Looking at his schedule and his scores and the lack of talent on that roster.
They're still a rebuilding team for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
He
see.
seems to be, trying to force Caffrey ball. He's probably trying to like build him up and stuff. Probably trying to get that rookie of the year stuff. I think give him a year or two with the 49ers.
That front seven in a year or two is going to
He'll
be
be fine.
amazing. So
He needs to get a quarterback, I feel like, is his problem.
and then I got we'll do two teams, and you'll pick the pretender or the contender out of the bunch. Bucks or Giants?
Who are the Giants? That's a good question.
Giants or
Guatemalan?
Guatemalan? He's going into week 5 3-1 off a strong CPU performance. He'll be back next week, so he'll miss 2 games before he's back. 2 more.
I'm gonna have to go Bucks on this one as contenders because I can definitely see you taking that division.
Yeah.
I think you're a good user, and I think you come on slow at times, but when you find your groove, you get in your groove and you make good decisions, and your team gets in that flow. And with that offensive firepower, that team is gonna be. Once you get in your groove, that team is gonna be really hard to stop.
Yeah,
And I
I've been
feel
trying
like
to
once you get
find
in that groove, that division is gonna have a problem.
I've definitely been trying to
It
find
looks
a
like
steady
you'd have a
scheme
pretty
and
good
groove.
grasp. It is surprising that the Giants beat the Cowboys because Chris isn't he's no slouch.
No, I think he's having an underperforming season at the moment. He's a better user than what
Maybe.
the stats show, I think.
I don't know if like he has injury problems or something, but you have
No, you have to
two
remember
pretty good
the
losses.
Giants has been on AP the whole year.
Has he?
He has yet to
Oh,
play a
okay,
game.
that
Yeah,
might be.
he just had a kid,
Oh,
so
okay.
he's been computer all season.
Yep.
Well, in that case, it's again with those. Oh, the CPU is very difficult. Yeah, I think you got it. I think if the Giants comes back, he'll probably start losing. He's still got games against Caleb, the Rams, the Chiefs. Like he's got a pretty tough schedule ahead of him. And being in Chris's division is not going to be easy for him. I think you got it. Yeah, you got it.
All right. So
Another thing that's gonna hurt him is that when you come back that late, and I know he just had a kid, he's not gonna have the time to put into the game, so he's gonna
Yeah.
have the learning curve, and he's gonna
That's
have to adjust to everything. So that's really gonna hurt him.
Yeah, I
So-
don't know how much he's been playing this in his off time and stuff.
it's all very true. So let's move on to our second segment. This is our first quarter through 4 weeks power top 10. I'm gonna list them off as I go. We'll talk about it and we'll see how you guys think it falls. So 1, I have Steelers. 2, I moved up the Vikings. And 3, I have you, Nigel, Titans. And then 4, I have the Rams. And then 5, I have the Jaguars. How do you feel about that as a top 5?
I'd almost take the Steelers out of the top 4.
Really?
Yeah. The Rams is really good. He's in a pretty easy division. I'd put him up there. He'll probably be in the playoffs almost guaranteed. Steelers is he's good, but that loss against Miguel makes me wonder if anything's up. And that was his last game. He's in a pretty easy division, but I mean he still has games against Carlos. He has games against the Chiefs. It could go either way for him. He still has to play Nigel here and me. So I'd move Rams more down.
Okay.
The Rams is also very good. I'd almost move the Vikings into first place. I don't know anything about these Vikings.
Okay.
I know he beat you. I know he beat the Lions, which is Lip, who is not. he's okay. And then he beat the Saints. From what it looks like, the Saints aren't that good. So I don't know.
Little flip-flops here.
I have to play the. Yep, I have to play the Vikings this next week. That'll decide, what I have to do.
So,
But I think the Vikings earns a first or second, or probably a first place. And then with that one loss, I'd move the Steelers to at least third or fourth, with the Rams in second.
Okay. How do you feel,
Nigel's a bum, so he should be in fifth.
I totally agree. But on those top 5 rankings, I definitely think the Steelers is a great user. But I think that loss to Miguel should definitely move his power ranking.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Somehow I overlooked that.
Not
I didn't
dramatically.
realize that happened.
Not dramatically to where you're like, oh, he goes from first to sixth or something like that. But that definitely, losing to a team that's not that equipped and using to a user that's not really in that elite top end user category, definitely should give you a little knock on your power rankings. As for Vikings, he's been a consistent user. Only loss he took on this season was to the Steelers. Every other win has been in a big margin of victory. So, like Jamie said, I could see Vikings moving up to 1, and or even Vikings and Steelers swapping that 1 or 2. As for 3, I think Carlos could be in that 3 spot over me. Who did you have at 4 or 5? 4 and 5?
I had Rams at 4 and Jaguars at 5.
I could definitely see. I think all those are pretty interchangeable.
Yeah.
I think that
After
3 spot.
seeing that loss the Steelers had, I was busy earlier. Somehow I overlooked that. Given that, I would go Vikings, Titans, Rams, Steelers, Jaguars, and that Steelers-Jaguars matchup is going to go down to Week 5, and that's our game of the week for Week 5. So that's probably what I would rearrange that to. So let's look at the bottom half of the top 10. At 6, I have the Texans. 7, I have the Falcons. 8, I have the Broncos. 9, I have the Chiefs. 10, I have you, Jamie, in at 10 as the Packers. That big win against Miguel, I had him 10 going into our preseason rankings. I think he was even in our top 10 in our Week 1 show. So,
Okay.
So I feel like, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like the Broncos, they just lost to the Raiders. I know that happened, but I feel like the Falcons, would you put them at 6 over the Texans?
No. The Falcons, the Falcons were not good. I don't know if it was just his game against me, but I mean, he was not good. He had 9 turnovers. 8 of them were interceptions. He's not very safe with the ball.